I'm Josh.
And I'm Jen. Welcome to the Gospel Shape Family Podcast.
Each episode brings biblical wisdom and practical conversations on parenting, marriage, and family. And we discuss how to disciple the next generation with a biblical worldview.
Whether you're raising children, shepherding a church, or longing to build a legacy of faith in your home, this podcast is for you.
Join us as we explore how to shape hearts, homes, and churches around the gospel, one conversation at a time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gospel Shape Family Podcast. Well, today we're talking about pets.
Critical topic.
You heard me. Yes, pets. Every child asks to get a pet, and every parent has to decide whether to say yes, whether you let those pets become a part of the family, or whether you're just going to draw a line and say no. So we, Dr. Josh Mulvihill and I, have had tons of animals on our farm and pets, but we didn't always have pets. So today we're going to kind of talk through that decision. What does that look like for your family? What does that look like for your kids? And how to help navigate that? Because if your kids are little, you can just start a timer and your kids are going to start asking for that very soon. So, Josh, did you grow up with any pets? Oh,
None.
he's
No,
shaking
my-
his head.
So we wanted pets, of course, as a
I
kid,
know
and
you
we
did.
I remember asking a ton, and my mom always said that we couldn't get any because we were all allergic to dogs and cats, myself included. I had pretty bad allergies, so I was always like, I guess it's for my own good. We can't
Did you
get
have
a
allergies? I mean, you have
well.
seasonal
So
allergies.
now we have a, m- a million pets. We got 2 dogs. And we've had dogs for 15 years, and we've literally had 100 cats. One indoors, the rest they all live outdoors. But no, I'm not allergic to them at all. No, not in any way, shape, or form. So I'm like, what? So we had fish, but fish are no.
Yeah.
I mean, fish aren't. Oh,
Mm.
fine, whatever. Fish, they're fish. They're not really that fun.
There's not a lot of interaction.
We had a turtle. The turtle, though, had to live outside.
So not a real pet.
We called him Sneaky. Sneaky because we didn't feed Sneaky. So Sneaky would leave our backyard, which was fenced in, and go eat. And I guess he just lived back there.
Mhm.
We brought Sneaky to school one day for show and tell, and Sneaky died. I think he had a heart attack
He
with
lived
all
a
the
good
kids.
life.
So we felt horrible because the one non-fish animal that we had,
Oh.
we were responsible for poor Sneaky's death.
Oh.
So that was my
He
experience growing
loved
up.
you, though, I'm sure.
No pets.
No
No
pets.
pets.
Wow.
So, and that's fine. I'm not holding that against my
No.
family. That was, my parents were in ministry. And so just out of practicality, most summers we would be gone at least 3, maybe 4 weeks. We would travel to Colorado. We were Campus Crusade, and they'd have what's called staff training. So we would travel there, and it was required as part of that organization. Well, what do you do with a dog or a cat if you're gone for that amount of time? Somebody's going to have to watch it.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah. Well, we're not gone for that amount of time in one chunk.
Not in one chunk.
Yeah. So it just becomes, certain lifestyles. Ours was not conducive greatly to that. You can obviously work around it if you've got somebody that's saying, hey, we didn't have any family around us. So it was all, hey, friends, would you take our dog
Or
for
kennel the dog.
that was not even in the realm of happening. No, that's not cheap. Not happening. So anyways,
I'm
that was the
sorry.
reality of our family.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I grew up when I was little, I had a cat. So I was little, my parents, we got a cat, a kitten named Coco. He was a beautiful, purebred Siamese
Mhm.
fancy pants cat. Um and I loved him so much. I literally carried him everywhere. I remember, just carrying him everywhere I went, and he slept in my bed, and we always had Coco, the cat. He was just the sweetest thing, We had a dog at one point that I think was maybe like an impulsive decision on my parents' part because Lady did not stay very long because we went to school and then Lady was gone when we got home. But
Ouch.
Coco lived until I was a sophomore in college, and I was devastated when Coco died.
I remember when Coco died.
I just loved him
Yeah.
so much. So, he was absolutely delightful. So, nowadays, now that when we first got married, then because we got married after we graduated college. So Coco died, and then I was like a couple years, no cats, But then when we got married, we got a cat.
Yeah. I had to navigate it wasn't kids that asked to get animals, it was Jen.
I
We
love animals.
so
Actually, I don't really love
we lived in an apartment, and Jen's like, "I wanna get a cat." I'm like, "It's
needed a
not allowed in the
kitten.
apartment,
I
we can't
needed
get" she's like, "We're smuggling it in."
Yeah.
It's like,
So Joel, our building manager, he, like, soft let us have that cat
He did. We weren't
because he
supposed
came
to.
over, we weren't
Yeah.
supposed to have a cat, and I was like, "Joel, I got this kitten," and he was like, "What kitten? There's no kitten
No cat.
here."
So that was the start. We
So
had Cricket,
we had Crick, a
and then we decided we were gonna get a dog
dog.
when our kids were pretty little. This is 15 years ago. Jay was probably 5 or 6, and
Yeah.
we adopted a dog, and that dog we had a lot of behavior problems because it was an older well, it wasn't super old, but it was old
Oh,
enough
I
that
thought you were talking about Jack.
Jack, yeah.
Oh, it was a puppy when we got Jack,
Oh,
right?
Jack was a puppy.
You remember when they made you do a background check to adopt the
Background
dog,
checks.
and
Everybody's
then
gotta do background checks.
and then you had to do 2 in-person interviews, 2 in-person
Ah,
interviews. We had to go, and then they had one we had to go someplace, and then one they had someone come to our home and
that's
see
right,
if
I
our
forgot
home
about that.
was a viable place for this dog, and the dog ended up being crazy.
Crazy dog, yeah. We ended up did we give that dog away or
I
sell
don't
it or
know.
I don't know.
I thought it was, like, vicious.
Yeah, we got rid of Jack after about a year, and then
And
we
then
we were watching a family from our
Barnesy
church asked us to watch their dog for a week while they went out of town. Was it a
over
beagle?
Christmas.
It was a
He
beagle.
was a
They
beagle.
look great in
He
photos,
photographed so well.
but beagles are a hound dog, so they have a really strong sense of smell,
Yeah.
and he would become like a possessed animal when certain smells came that he couldn't control himself. So he was great, like, I don't know, 80, 90% of the time, but then he would, like
He'd
he'd
go
get the smell of
crazy.
chicken, couldn't control himself, or he'd go outside and get a sniff, and he would
Us,
just
it was
he'd
something and
just
he'd run
bolt. I don't know.
away, and we had invisible fence. We've invisible fenced, it was like 2 acres,
Yeah,
and then he didn't care about the fence, and so you'd hear him when he wanted to run through the fence, he'd run and he'd go, "Yo!"
and he just keep
He'd just
going. He
run
looked like
through,
he was having the best days of
and
his
the
life.
police brought him home a few times. It was so embarrassing, but rest in peace, he passed away.
Barnesy lived for about we had him for about 7 years, yeah.
Yeah, we got him when he was grown.
Now is up to the present day. So we have 2 labs, Liberty and Ellie.
Oh,
And
Liberty.
Ellie is our son's Asher's dog. He
Yep,
bought
both are Labradors,
Liberty.
yeah.
Yep, he bought Ellie and has bred Ellie 3 times.
Yep, so
And
we've had 3
so
litters of that.
that's been both a joy and a money-making investment for Asher, which he's done. He's bought a vehicle
He's done great.
with Ellie's puppies, and he's got a decent amount of money right now in the bank
Yeah,
for college,
yeah.
that should help pay for that. So that has come with some challenges, we'll just say.
But
Um,
la la,
yes,
Liberty.
liberties, yes. Both of those dogs have been trained, so
Yeah, professionally trained.
animals are like children. They can be very naughty, and they
Mhm.
need to be trained and need to have rules. And if they every animal has its own personality. If they get trained well and there's consistency there,
Yeah.
it just aids to the joy of the household. So
Yes.
our dogs aren't allowed on furniture. They can't jump on
No.
people. They're not allowed to bark.
No.
No begging. Don't feed them at the table. We have rules
No.
like
We have
that,
rules
and
for our dogs.
it doesn't eliminate all the issues, but it does help a lot.
Yeah. And I will say, I am a cat person. I'm a cat person, even though we have 2 dogs. But we have farm cats and they live outside.
Yeah.
So
So
and those, they function as
we currently have what
pets.
do we have 4 cats outside. And they actually have a job. If we have animals
Yeah.
on the farm, we
They're
consider
like
them
mousers, but they're
our
like come in and
employees.
go and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we've probably had over 100 cats over the
Because they have
years. They
babies
have
and then
babies, we get rid of we sell them, and,
yeah. We train
um,
them,
the
and
girls
they're so
the
sweet.
girls every spring, our girls, love I don't know, it's about 12 weeks, with 8 to 12 weeks, I don't remember how long it is, with kittens, and you got little kittens running everywhere, and it is very cute, and
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. We love
Yep,
it.
yep.
Yeah.
So, we've
So
had a lot of pets. We've got, pigs, chickens, cows. We got all those as well, and so but they're all outside, of course. Although some people have purchased piglets from us to have them as pets in their house,
in their
and
house
I would be interested to know how that goes, because
are
that's next level.
that's a
That's
whole
next
nother
level, yep.
level. I'm not familiar with anybody in person. I mean, I know people, but yeah.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
so
so
the question
we've had a lot
is
of pets.
so we're
Just kind of give
qualified to speak on this.
just some background. Yeah, yeah. So should we get a pet? Let's talk honestly. What
Yeah,
are some of the negatives that we've experienced with owning pets?
owning
What would
pets.
you say?
So there's obviously a financial cost. So there's an upfront cost of purchasing a pet, and then there's ongoing veterinary, food, um, grooming, supplements, training, boarding,
Wow, this is sounding expensive all of a sudden.
and but like it's an investment.
Unless it's named as Ellie. Well, actually, we do get money out of our cats too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an investment, but I don't know. Like, I think, especially if it's a dog. I mean, if you have a cat, the costs are so low. It's like a litter box and some cat food, you know? I think a dog is a little bit more spendy. But a well-trained, well-cared for dog is a delight.
Let's take a break to thank Renew Nation, the sponsor of this podcast. If you've benefited from the Gospel Shaped Family podcast, consider making a tax-deductible donation to Renew Nation today. Your generous donations make this podcast and our work to help children develop a biblical worldview possible. If you've enjoyed the episode, you can support us by leaving a review. This helps the podcast grow and reach more families. Now back to the show.
What else is a negative?
Um, I think they are one of our dogs named Ellie is got some separation anxiety, and
Oh,
she will,
yeah,
if
she
she's
gets
ever
sad.
alone, she'll whine and bark. And so the first year of her life,
That was a
that
sacrifice.
was my standard of living was decreased to that year, because it was literally at night,
She loves
we
Asher.
figured out if we have her sleep with Asher in his room, she's
She's an
fine.
angel.
But, you'd be downstairs, and she'd, like, all night long, she'd be like,
Yeah.
barking, and like, "Okay, I'm ready to take this dog out.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm like, a good night's sleep matters
Yeah.
a lot."
And
So
then go
yeah,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
And I would just say the other major drawback is animals can be dirty. Whether you have a hamster, you have to change the cage. If you have a bird, you have to clean up after that. There's like some mess involved with keeping animals.
What's the state of dog hair in our
Well,
home?
I get a little he says this, it's like baiting me because I can't stand the dog hair. So we have some dog hair. Um,
Some?
I have to run the Roomba like every day. Otherwise, I get crabby about the dog hair. So when you have two labs in your house, I don't even know how we got here, but we got two labs. And so I have to take care of that dog hair. So yeah, there's a
There's a
little bit of
lot,
that.
yeah.
I always say if we ever got another dog, which I don't think I would get another dog at this season of life.
Is this a conversation you wanna have? A
Well,
3rd
I
dog?
mean, no, a third
A
dog?
big one? A bigger one? We need like 100-pound plus, like a horse in the house.
Oh my gosh, I'll tell our listeners this. So we were on a walk yesterday with Liberty, and Liberty weighs 90 pounds, okay? And she's a beautiful black lab. I mean, you think about like a stereotypical photo of the most beautiful black lab you've ever seen. That's my dog, Liberty. And I walk her and I wear like this leash that goes around my waist. And she saw a rabbit and she took off and she literally pulled me. Like, I was out of control. Anyway, so we don't need a 3rd dog in the house, but a
Probably
little
not.
dog
Yeah.
could be so
Yeah,
cute.
and they are, they do impact schedule stuff. So we've got a family gathering at my brother's house this
Yeah,
Sunday,
I would
and
just bring
so,
her. I love her.
we're gonna go to church, and then you go, drive an hour, go, hang out for half a day, and you drive. That's a long time for a dog to be in a kennel. And so sometimes, it's like, okay, our availability does get impacted
Yeah, there's a sacrifice.
by having animals in the house, and even going away or
Yeah.
stuff as a family. It's like, what do you do with all your, so that's the negative side.
Yeah.
All right. So we probably have convinced everybody now not to get a pet. All
No.
right. So what's the positives of owning a pet
Oh, there's
that,
so
so you would
many.
still, if you were going to do it all over again, would you still have pets?
Yes, of
Okay. All right.
course.
All right.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
So what's the why?
Well, the why there's so many yes whys. So, um, kids, if you're listening, write these down. If your parents you want, convince your parents. Um, so companionship is wonderful. I mean, the old adage, like a dog is your best friend, man's best friend. Like it is wonderful the companionship that comes from an animal. Um, Both our dogs and our cats have been absolutely wonderful. It's a great learning experience for everyone involved. Our children have really taken on a lot of the responsibility for caring for our pets, whether it's feeding the dogs and the cats and giving them water, it's walking them, it's reinforcing training. So it's a wonderful learning opportunity for kids also.
Yeah. We think pets make life richer.
Yeah.
They just make life better. Even though there are some downsides at times that we just mentioned, they
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 just
make life better.
and, it'll get you outside. A dog will get you outside.
It's true.
So if your kids are prone towards sitting, if they're prone towards video games and screens and they don't wanna go outside, a dog is a really great reason to get them out. The dog needs to be walked and the dog needs to go to the bathroom, and, there's just so many great ways it could help your family. I
Yep.
mean, even, like, protection-wise, a dog will bark if somebody comes to your door. Um, yeah, there's a lot of great
Yeah.
reasons to have
Yeah.
a pet.
Yeah, and I just think the norm probably, we have I think, what was it? C.S. Lewis called it chronological snobbery. So
Mm,
we think our current time in history, what we experience is kind of the norm, and
mhm.
and sometimes even the best. But for us, if we step out of our current time in history, for most of human history, people had animals. That was
Yeah,
just part of their existence. Some of that obviously was necessary for a way of life, whether that's you're farming and you need a horse or an ox, or for travel. But you had animals,
yeah.
and that was just part of human existence. So the reality is, not having animals in the family is abnormal
Mm,
historically. Obviously, nothing wrong with that, but it just is, that's unique throughout all of history. And
yeah.
so that's
Yeah, that's a great point.
yeah. So if your family doesn't own a pet, and you don't have much affinity for animals, it's worth considering some of the long-term benefits of adding one to your family. One that we've had here that we didn't mention is just the protection side of things.
Yeah.
So our dogs are part of our alarm out here,
Mhm.
and it's interesting because they will alert us to things all the time that
All the time.
we can't tell. We're out in a pretty isolated place. You can't see another form of human existence around our house. It's
Yeah,
literally, it's all nature, all that you can see. And so it's pretty easy. If you wanted to do something to, break into our house, it'd be pretty easy to sneak up on it. But
yeah,
there's all
yeah.
kinds of animals that are always all around, usually not problematic, but skunks, we will, raccoons, we will, coyotes,
Awesome.
possums, yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. And if people come up, usually,
Yeah,
we've only had one time where where we had somebody that tried to get into our house and actually did.
yeah,
And interestingly, in that instance, both of the dogs, Ellie sleeps upstairs with Asher, and we were literally in like this. We always have Liberty sleep on the first floor. We
yeah.
literally, for that one night, the kids were like, "Please, can
Please,
Liberty
can you let
sleep
her
with
sleep
us?"
with
So we let him sleep with the kids, so she wasn't downstairs, or she would
Yeah.
have like barked crazy for that.
But so they do a good job. Liberty does a really good job. Even like when I'm walking her, if there are people that we interact with that like she's really friendly, but I have had times where she'll see people and she'll be like, "Arr," like she just has, I don't know what it is, like some sort of instinct. It's protective. And I appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. So, is it worth cleaning up a little bit of dog hair to know that she's gonna be, like, there? Like, a big 90-pound black lab could be a formidable force, and so, yeah.
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 Yeah. So, what are some things we've done just as far as using pets as a mechanism to help our kids grow, teach them, learn responsibility? What kind of things has that entailed?
Well, we've definitely put our kids in charge of caring for the pets. Asher, who's 17, but he was much younger when he got Ellie, does everything for taking care of her. So we do very little. He feeds her, gives her water, he takes her for walks, he takes her to the bathroom, he cleans up after her, he brushes, does the grooming, he oversees vet visits. Everything having to do with them. And then also, I mean, our little Emily, she takes care of the cats and she feeds them and waters them. So really it's been great to, oh yeah, she does scoop the litter box if they're inside. They clean up dog poop as needed. They will vacuum. But really there is just like a level of personal responsibility that comes with having a pet. And also there's like a nice empathetic relationship there. So, like we've said, "Oh, you didn't give the dogs any water. They haven't had any water today." Like, how would you feel if you didn't get any water? Like, obviously, we wouldn't like withhold water from our kids, but it's a good thing to ask and to be like, "Oh, have you ever thought about that? Like, can you see that from their perspective? No wonder the dog is thirsty." So, just training on those ends when it comes to like, how do you take care of somebody else?
Yeah. Our kids have learned a lot about the birds and the bees
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because Ellie, we've bred her. Our cats are, they're farm cats. So we have litters of kittens and
Yeah.
puppies every year. And so they learn about the birds and the bees from that
Reproduction, how does it
reproduction.
work?
Hmm.
Yeah, they've seen.
Um, when anytime you have animals, you're always going to have sickness, and there's always death. And
Yeah,
so there's been a lot of great opportunities to talk about those, life and death kind of things
yeah.
just through animals. And we have a long list of favorite animals that are no longer with us
Mhm.
that have died for various reasons over the years. And, um, they have a special place in your heart. And so, yeah,
Absolutely.
so they just allow us to have some of those bigger questions sometimes just because they're in your home at that point
Yeah,
and have larger conversations. And so lots of teaching opportunities
with a
with
pet.
animals. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
So, if a family said to you, "Josh, should we get a pet?" What would you say?
Yes. Do
Yes.
it.
That's what I would say
Yeah.
too. Get a
I think it's
pet.
great. It's doesn't need to be forever, but
No.
during the childhood of your kids' years, I think it's just a wonderful thing to have for
Yeah.
them. And then, when they get older and out of the house, and maybe you say, "Oh, all right, that was a season. We don't need to do it again." Or maybe you're like, "Yeah, we miss our kids so much. We have a dog, and there's actually some extra companionship that's there." And
Yeah. You
or a
never know.
cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. All
Or a
right.
cat.
Yes, if you ever need a cat, we always have baby
We
cats,
always have
and
kittens
Ellie has puppies
every
most years,
spring.
so
Yeah.
yes, so if you ever
So
want any, let us know.
they're
Oh,
well loved.
well loved, yep.
Yes.
All right, well, that does it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
We're honored to partner with the Addisons, and today I want to point you toward their podcast. It's called Culture Proof, and they use a biblical approach to view current events, family, politics, and more. What makes it unique is their biblical perspective. They take the truth from the Bible and they apply it to issues that we're facing today. They don't just discuss problems, they provide practical things that we can do to make a difference and raise our children to follow Christ. Subscribe today so that you and your family can be culture proof. Thank you for listening to the Gospel Shaped Family Podcast. Please share this episode and give us a 5-star rating wherever you get your podcasts.